What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today's video, we are going to be talking about Wolverine number 5 by Benjamin Percy and Victor Bogdanovic. And in this video, we are going to learn the end result of what happens when Dracula gets his hands on Wolverine's blood, and a little bit more about what the vampire's plan really is. We're going to talk about all that and more right now, but first, wash your damn hands. And let's hit that intro.
Word to wise, grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
Before we get started, if you want to see more awesome comic book videos like this one, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click.
In this week's issue, last time we left off, you gotta remember that Wolverine got caught slipping by some humies, and they basically were going to dump him into the lake underneath the ice and basically kind of send him to an icy, watery grave that he would probably just die forever and ever and ever and ever and ever in. What ends up happening is that Omega Red steps in alongside Dracula and an army of vampires, and even though they kill the humies that are there to take Wolverine out, they ensure that Wolverine goes on to that icy, watery grave, albeit with a purpose. You see, they weren't there to necessarily ensure that Wolverine was going to stay under that ice. What they wanted to happen is they wanted him to get Captain America'd. They wanted him to become a mutant popsicle. They have dug him out of the ice, and they have basically been harvesting his blood. Because, as Dracula states, when you have a being who basically has been around as long as Wolverine, it's almost like a tree or a mountain that has an infinite number of rings in itself. And he has seen so much. He has seen the rise and fall of many a day and night. He has seen the rise and fall of humanity. There's wisdom in his blood, and his blood is really not all that dissimilar from a vampire's, albeit with a benefit. You see, the nature of Wolverine's blood type makes it so that when they have his blood constantly on drip feed into their bodies, they become daywalkers. This is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but what we learn later on is that the vampires are basically going through all of these burned out, run down towns where, the mines have shut down, the factories are no longer open. The town has basically just kind of become a poor man's wasteland. And what they're doing is going to each of these towns, bleeding them dry and turning everybody into vampires, then loading up all those people into 18-wheelers and then trucking them to other places and unleashing those vampires on more people so that they could create even more vampires. Basically, what Dracula's doing is he is building up an army and at the same time feeding his people and also getting rid of humanity. Ultimately, what he's trying to do is he's raising an army that could take down Krakoa. Now, you're probably sitting here wondering, like, okay, well, how is this the case? How is Wolverine's blood so special that it can make vampires into daywalkers? Well, I am here to tell you that the reason why his blood type is referred to as E, which is something that in this book they reveal is like a 1 in 1 billion chance of anyone ever having anything like this, like 0.00000% and so on and so forth. Now, if you go back to Wolverine issue number 1, we are also reminded of the fact that when vampires' blood exit their body, the blood is still potent, it's virulent, it wants to thrive and carry on. Wolverine's, however, is not. However, the biggest difference between Wolverine's blood and vampires' blood outside of that is the fact that it does not deteriorate in ultraviolet light. Dracula's figured out is, if we just put his blood inside of a vessel, even if we're removing it from his body, we put it inside of a vessel that keeps it safe and therefore is still flowing through somebody's body. That means Walking Daylight, basically Blade now. Well, not exactly Blade, but they still got some weaknesses. However, they are essentially daywalkers. Now, where things get crazy in this book is we see a group of younger vampires who see Wolverine's body, encased in ice, unprotected. So they try to steal it. And now, when we originally see this, we are thinking, oh, they're gonna take Wolverine's body for themselves. They're gonna basically bleed his body dry. They want to get the benefits that Dracula is trying to get, but they want it for themselves. That's what we think initially. And yeah, that is kind of the case. However, these vampires, even though Wolverine tries to kill them, the second that he gets free, Wolverine quickly learns that these vampires are not evil. I mean, they're vampires, yeah, and they do drink blood, yeah. They don't go around killing humans to do it. Wolverine quickly learns that they've actually been killing local wildlife and draining the blood from that as opposed to killing people. They don't like Dracula. They hate Dracula. As a matter of fact, they don't really enjoy the idea of Dracula's voice constantly being in their head. Also find it funny that they use death metal and snowmobiling around to drown out the noise of Dracula trying to control them, trying to speak to them and get them to come over to his side. But I thought it was really cool, and Wolverine actually is able to work with these vampires and basically bring down some of Dracula's lieutenants. Now, of course, when Wolverine is about to kill one of the lieutenants, she reveals that, yeah, we let you go on purpose. We weren't going to keep you. We knew that if we kept you, the mutants would come for us, and we're not ready for them yet, but we will be. And when we are, we're gonna come to Krakoa and we are gonna come get that ass. Now, one of the things I did enjoy here, we do actually get a little callback to issue number 1 with Louise. Wolverine does send a message reaching out to her, letting her know that he is back on board. And see, originally when they met, he didn't really want any part of what she was selling, the whole deal with the Night Guard and fighting for what's right and, taking out the vampires and stopping it, nipping it in the bud before it can even become a thing. But now Wolverine realizes that, yes, he's culpable in this. He has basically enabled the vampire nation to run roughshod all over the world. And now he realizes he has to do something about it, and he's willing now to do something about it. I thought that was, a really good take from Logan to take responsibility for getting caught slipping. There's also some really interesting notes in here that he talks about in regards to equating being a mutant right now to a conversation he had with someone about hitting the lottery, people coming into money and how money, like power, can corrupt. But what I like with Wolverine's take with this is that power corrupts and money corrupts, and basically the mutants having Krakoa and the ability to resurrect themselves when needed, that is kind of like someone hitting the lottery. Having that kind of money, having that kind of power, what it's going to do is going to take whatever you are and dial it up to 11. Having that kind of power is going to basically take whatever they are. If they are a good person, they are probably going to donate to charities. They're probably going to give to good causes. They're probably going to try and feed the homeless, end world hunger, generate world peace or something like that. I don't know. But what he's saying is that basically if you were a good person, yes, you're going to perpetuate good things and you're going to use that to take it to the next level. However, if you're a bad person, you are going to be corrupted to that level. You're going to become a worse person. And there are people out there, like he says, that want that. And now that the vampires have his blood, even if it's not that much, they now are corrupted. They now want more. It's a really interesting take. When this book started, because they were running 2 different plot lines, I wasn't really keen on the first plot line where they were talking about, somebody's, taking the Krakoan drugs and, twisting them into being these narcotics. I mean, that was a cool story, but I wasn't really there for it. But y'all know me, I love vampires. So the fact that Wolverine is going up against Dracula again, I was like, oh yeah, this is it for me. And of course, we know that 10 of Swords is coming up very quickly. And of course, something else is going on here as well, because we see at the very end of this book, as Wolverine is walking through the wilds of Canada, he gets picked up by the Bifrost. And whatever's going on, if it's Thor, maybe he wants to show off his new walkway on the Bifrost that is Galactus's head. I don't know. But I'm curious to see where it's going from there. I wonder, because whatever's going on, if it is in fact Thor, he doesn't seem to be particularly concerned with whatever plans Wolverine was trying to carry on with. He's like, no, you are needed elsewhere. There you go. So I thought it was really cool. I like this book. I like this book a lot. I think it really says something that Benjamin Percy's done a very fantastic job with this book. I like the art style with it. I think it fits Wolverine. At the end of the day with this book, I don't know where it's going to go after this whole Vampire Nation stuff, but I hope that it goes in good direction, because not every story can be about vampires. So I'm hoping that once we get past this, I'll still enjoy this book. But I like Benjamin Percy's writing, and I'm willing to give whatever he's writing a chance, give it a fair shake, just like I did with the other storylines. But anyways, let me know what what you think about Wolverine #5 by Benjamin Percy and Victor Bogdanovic. Wash your damn hands and sound off in the comments. So hey, you made it to the end of the video. Awesome for you. If you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, I don't see how you didn't, do me a favor. Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. And tap that bell so you know when I post up. Also, feel free to go check out my Patreon, where if you chuck in $1, you can get early access to most of my videos up to a week early. And if you have time, make sure you swing by nerd901.com, where you can find more of my content as well as other amazing stuff. Anyways, until next time, I love you 3000 plus ultra.